I'm Neve, and this is In the Know Behind the Screens. So today we're talking about dating apps. We all know that apps like Instagram and TikTok are social platforms, right? But so are dating apps. I mean, who hasn't been swiping left or right these days? We're going to be diving into how these apps and the algorithms behind them have changed modern love. I connected with Associate Professor Liesel Sharabi, who studies dating in the digital age. Can we trust the algorithms with our hearts? Let's find out. I am so excited to be speaking with you. Can you tell me a little bit about how your research pertains to the world of dating apps?
If you look throughout all of human history at how we've met partners, it's always been face-to-face. And now we're turning to algorithms for those sorts of introductions. And so something that I've been researching is what role those algorithms play in our decision-making about partners and how they're affecting our relationships.
What roles do algorithms play when it comes to dating apps?
When you look at the profiles that you're able to interact with, a lot of that is being determined by an algorithm. It's identifying who is going to be in your dating pool and who's going to be excluded from it. We're trusting algorithms with one of the most important decisions that we're ever going to make, which is our choice in a romantic partner. So in that sense, they have a huge role to play in the experience.
Is there such a thing as playing the numbers game with these algorithms? Can you cheat the algorithm in any way to give you more prospects?
So you can certainly try, but at the same time, I think without knowing more about how the algorithm, the specific one that you're using, is making its recommendations, you could actually end up making the problem worse for yourself. So for instance, someone who's just swiping right on everyone, you're signaling to the algorithm, I'm not very picky. I'll match with anybody. And so I don't think anyone out there wants recommendations to be based on the assumption that they, don't care who they're matched with at all. On a lot of these platforms, they're really using people's behavior to make recommendations. And one way they're doing that is through something called collaborative filtering. So with collaborative filtering, the algorithm is basically making recommendations based on groups of users who appear to have similar taste. So for example, if you swipe right on someone on a dating app, even if it's the first profile that you've ever swiped on, the algorithm is able to look at data from other people who have also been swiping right on similar kinds of profiles. And then it knows who they were interested in next. And so it can then recommend those types of profiles to you.
Each dating app seems to have its own unique secret sauce and algorithm approach. From your research, what are some of the key data points that these algorithms focus on to help users find their next date?
You want to be really careful and intentional about who you're swiping on, because you are essentially training the algorithm in the type of person that you're interested in. But then on the flip side, it's also looking at what is the quality of the pool that seems to be interested in you in return.
Okay, this is mind-blowing. Are these algorithms deciding our future? Is this technology getting us any closer to finding our person? And is there anything that we can do to make sure that the people these apps are showing us are people that we actually want to connect with? Let's get back to it. How have dating apps and the algorithms behind them changed the landscape of dating and making these new romantic connections?
I think that they have evolved considerably over time. And so I think that if you look at the history of online dating, you can really get a sense of how quickly things have progressed. I mean, this is the number one way to meet people in the US, which means that a lot of us are being introduced to our future partners by an algorithm. And so something that I've found in my research is that people often want commitment, but they have a hard time knowing when to leave the app behind and actually pick somebody. And so I think there's always this idea in the back of your mind that maybe somebody better is still out there.
Do you think that having more options makes it more difficult to actually connect with people intentionally?
Absolutely. I mean, people have different motivations for using dating apps, and some people want something serious. They want a relationship. Other people are just looking for a hookup, and some people just enjoy the matching and the game of it all, because these apps, something they've done is gamify the user experience, and you win the game when you match with somebody. And so some people just like to play the game, but they're not actually in it for a relationship.
What do you envision as the future of dating apps, their algorithms, and their impact on the relationships we form?
I think we're at a really pivotal moment in online dating, especially when you look at advances in AI. There's also real potential there to improve the matchmaking process using AI. So the more technology advances, the more we're able to use it to bring us back to the way that we always met people in person that does feel a little more natural and organic. So I think there's a lot on the horizon for these apps and a lot of potential for them to really improve a process that I think can be frustrating for a lot of people.
Well, Liesel, thank you so much for spending the time talking to me about this. I am fascinated by literally all of your answers, and I could talk to you all day. So thank you so much for sitting and talking to me about all this.
Thank you. This was fun.
So that went a lot deeper than I was expecting, but it seems like the answer here is you can't beat the system except by simply being yourself. If you want to keep up on all things wonderful and weird in the world of social media, you know where to find me. Join me next time on In the Know Behind the Screens.